afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Ooh, it was a jittery hello, wasn't it? There, that's better. Today we are working on a cute little Halloween bag here. And so before we get to this part, I know that some of you might be wondering where the tutorial is to make the squares and to lay out the pattern for this. And I did that in a previous video, so I will link to that in the description for you. So you will need, if you're doing a pattern like this, then you're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 squares. Okay, yeah, so it's an odd number, and it will make a cute little bag in the end once we're done. So these squares that I give the tutorial for are for this little skull figure, and then a regular square like this that you can turn into or make different colors with. So this one also is, the center is a circle, so you can make little patterns and webs and whatever you want, just to make it unique and to make it your own. So I gave you the basics so that you can start and just make it however you want. You can model it on this or make it completely different. And then, yeah, so I will put the pattern up there somewhere, or the layout. And then the tutorial will be in the description, so you can have those ready. And if you already do have those ready from the last video, I'm just going to tell you what you need to finish off this bag. So again, I will have a picture of the layout. And one of the things I want to point out when you are laying this out is make sure that if you have skulls or faces on one side of the bag, on the opposite side of the bag, make sure that everything is upside down, so that when you fold it over, that the bag the faces will be upside, unless you want them upside down, which is fine. It's cool too. So to start, we are going to need, for this one, some scissors, and you can use as long as they can cut yarn or material. So scissors, and you will need your crochet hook. And I used, for the squares, I used a 4.5, so I'm going to stay with that here. And if you want to do basically to make the bag a little bit more secure, and so that it doesn't have holes in it, and if you want to cover the inside of the bag, you'll need a fat quarter or a piece of material or cloth. I'm just using this as an example, but inside we're going to use this beautiful dark green velvet, and cut that into shape. So that's what the scissors are for. And then you will also need, again, if you're doing the black squares or different color squares, and you want to make these little stitches in here, you're going to need white yarn or thread, and then also a needle to weave and sew that all in, and I'll show you how to do that. But that's basically all you need. Oh, and also if you want to, if you're going to be sewing the material inside, so the back side of this little bag, you are going to you can either sew it by hand, or you can use a sewing machine. I'm really bad at sewing, so I'll do my best and show you how to do that. And so for the sewing part, you will need just regular thread and a regular needle, which I have somewhere around here. I thought it was attached to this. What if it's on the floor? Okay, I'll find it. Anyways, let's not worry about that. I'm going to just show you, so the layout again, just make sure that you have the layout properly. I'm going to show you how to stitch each square together. So lay it out into the pattern that you want, okay? And then just take 2 squares at a time, and you're going to take them and put them inside out. So you'll take, you know, your skull and a fancy one or whatever you have, and we're working this way. So make sure that the right side or the good side is inside of your square. Look at, there's a hair there again. Again, that's love weaved in, right? So I'm going to just show you very quickly how to stitch these up. So first you're going to, as I said, so these are the good sides of the squares, and I'm using green just so that it's a little bit easier to see. So you'll fold that in so that the good side is in. And I'm just using black yarn here to show you, just to contrast, and that's mostly just so that you can, it's easier to see, but obviously use whatever colors you want. I think black works well for Halloween, so you can just use whichever colors work best for you. So now that we have this little sandwich of squares, you're going to find the corner where it has the two the chain 2 spaces. You're going to make your loop here. I didn't actually walk you through that. Should I walk you through that? Just make a slip knot, just like that, and then pull that or hook that through, hook it through, pull it through, and then kind of just lock it into place. So yarn over and pull through, and then it's locked into place. So you can kind of tuck your extra yarn here underneath and start weaving it through, or covering it along the way, and I'll show you how to do that. So in this square or this corner, you're going to do 2 single crochets, just like that. Okay, now we're going to look here and see there's a front and a back loop on both of these squares. We're going to go into the front loop of the front square and the back loop of the back square. So it's the front and the back. And you're going to pull up a loop and then do a single crochet, just like that. So you're just doing single crochets across here, but just go into the front loop of the front square and the back loop. Let's pull that out of the way, just like that. And you can see that I've got the tail here that I'm crocheting underneath here so that it'll stay in place. So just keep doing that all the way across. So all the way across you'll have 19 stitches, and that doesn't include the 2 that you do in the corner. So the 2 in the corner will add, in each corner will add 4. So each side of this will have 23 stitches. Okay, so I will leave you to that and just go all the way across. So when you turn this or flip this back to the right side, you'll see that these stitches here are, it's stitched underneath but this kind of has, you can see the little connecting bit here. And that's perfectly fine. That's totally what we want. So you're just doing the front here and the back here, and then we will have a perfect connecting piece underneath. So keep going, go through all of the squares until you have it all done, and then we will go through and do these little stitches on top. Once you've done all of these squares, you're going to go and collect your or get your string, your white yarn, and your sewing needle or tapestry needle here, and then you just knot it. So the way I knot it is I just wrap it around my finger. Let me move this out of the way so you can see. So just knot it by wrapping it around my finger and then rolling it like that, and then pulling it tight, and that creates a little knot. So when you've done that, you just go into each of these connected squares that you have, and you just go up and down through. And the way that I sort of did this, kind of angled them and made sure that they looked a little bit sloppy, because it's supposed to look like, you know, Frankenstein stitches. And across each side of the square, I kind of averaged and did 7 stitches around. So if you just continue to do that, and all the way around, just going from one row and then going through and down and following it and continuing along all the way. So just do that until you have the inside part done. So you will realize too that once we fold it, that there's some that need to be done on these sides here when we fold this in. But we'll wait and do that after we've put the material on the back side of this, if you're doing that. So if you're not going to be putting material inside to cover this, just to give it an extra layer so that things don't fall through, if you have like a pen or a pencil that you want to put in your bag, then I will show you, you can skip to the part where I just show you how to put it all together. So you can either pause here and get your sewing stuff ready, and I'll show you how to line everything up. And if not, then skip over to the next bit where we talk about putting it all together. Okay? So your fat quarter, which is just a piece of cloth that you can buy in the store, in craft stores. I'm, like I said, I'm going to be using the green, the nice velvet, crushed velvet, but I cut this as a model here. And what I did was I had the fat quarter, which, and by the way, the fat quarters are 50 centimeters by 50 centimeters, and that should be enough for this project. But you can obviously alter it and make it as big and as small, or as small as you want. And I put it at an angle here. And what I did was just, I took a pencil and just marked here all the way around, just kind of traced around. And the reason why you're going to make you're going to cut this a little bit, the cloth a little bit larger than your project, so that it sews up nicely into the borders here. And then you can always cut and trim it so it's nice and neat inside. But you always want to make sure that you have a larger piece here, because it will kind of scrunch up in when you've sewn it in anyways. Okay, so once you cut that, or you make the shape that you want, which will look something like this, then we are going to just sew it on to the back side of this. And you can either do that by hand, or if you're a pro at sewing, you can use the machine, whatever machine you have, and just sew that on. And then that just adds an extra little bit of security in the bag, so that when you open up the bag, that there's something to protect and make sure that things don't fall out. So if you are not interested in this, and then I am hoping that you skipped to the next stage, where we kind of try and finish off the bag. So the one thing that you're going to do with the fat quarter that you have cut out, now you'll see where the larger part is here. It's kind of larger. It kind of looks like a heart shape here. Now what you're going to do with that is you're going to leave these two larger, or the corner pieces, without cloth. So what I mean by that, I'll show you. So basically the cloth, or the material that you use, is going to leave the two larger side pieces exposed. So if you want to see what I mean, so there's the two at the top, and then the three in a row, three horizontal. So you're leaving these two without material, okay? And that's because it's going to connect. These connect when you fold your bag up, right? So just leave that like that, so that you can actually sew these, connect these pieces here, and sew the stitches on as well. So it just looks more complete. So just remember that when you're cutting your cloth. And the reason why I use this color just for this, even though I'm using the crushed velvet, is just so that you can see it better. So if you're not even using these, then just go ahead, like I said, and continue to connect all of the pieces. And then you can fold your bag up like this and connect those here. And I will show you how to do that in more detail. And then put your stitching, your Frankenstein stitches here as well, just so that it looks more complete. Okay? Okay, so either you have your bag or the inside sewn up onto the back, or the inside of the bag, you have your cloth sewn in, or if you're not sewing in anything and you just want the bag like this, because it can still work as a book bag or a little accessory bag without having the filling inside. then what you're going to do is you're going to take the, if you can see where the middle, there's, so I think the larger part where there's the 2 at the top and then the 3 and then the 2 and then 1, so it kind of comes down into a centerpiece here before it widens again. So this centerpiece you're going to fold up just like that, and that should align, if you can see, that will align the bag. Okay, so that should work that way. Now on the side, and on both sides, it's going to be on both sides, you will have this piece that is sticking out. So what you're going to do with that is fold it in, and you're going to basically, you'll turn the bag inside out, if that's easier, and just fold the corner into this corner. So take your yarn and your crochet hook, and then you're going to do a slip knot. Let's move this so you can see. You're going to do a slip knot like that, and then just connect the square in the back like you did with the previous ones. So just start in the corner, and from corner to corner, and it's pulling the yarn through. Just like this. And then pull up a loop, or yarn over and pull up a loop just like that. And then continue across just as normal. So you go into the front loops here and the back loops here all the way, and then once you get to the corner you do the 2, and you can connect it more securely by connecting 2 here into the corners, and then connect these 2 corners, and then connect these 2 corners, so that will send you along this route. So how about I meet you at this corner just to make sure that you follow. Okay, so you can pause the video and I'll meet you in the corner here. Okay, so I've made it to the end here. I have my 19 stitches across plus the 2 in the corner, or starting point. So I've made it to this corner, so I'm going to open that up so you can see. I'm going to go into that corner there, and the one that I've connected to, and I'm going to do 2 single crochets in there, just like that, just like normal. Then I'm going to go back into this one here, this square, and I'm going to connect that one to the one that's kind of diagonal to it, not beside it yet, so the one above it. And I'm going to go into that corner and do 1 stitch. I don't think it needs 2. And then I'm going to go back into this one again, and I'm going to go into the last one on the left here, the corner, and I'm going to do the 2 single crochets into that corner, and that will leave me with this final row here where I can connect, and then that will connect, the corners will connect here. So you'll do your 19 across and then connect at the corner, and then that will give you the side of your bag. So you do that, and then you just do the same thing on the other side, and you do that inside out. Remember, you're working on the inside right now, and then from there you can continue and do the finish off the kind of Frankenstein stitches across here. So this is basically what the inside of your bag will look like once you sew the cloth in. So just fold it over, and if you aren't putting a cloth in, an inner piece of material in, then you can skip that step, obviously. But then you just fold these over and stitch them exactly the way we did before. And then what we do is go over the first bit here and just keep going around, and you do a single layer of single crochet, and then we do another row, so you do 2 rows of single crochet, and that will give us a little bit of height here. And then the last thing we're going to do is add the straps. So I will leave you to complete the sides here, and then we'll meet back when we have to do this bit here. Okay, so go to it. Okay, so you should have something that looks like this now. If you've done the sides and folded them in, you will have to attach the stitches, and if you have an inside layer, then just weave in and out like this more shallowly. I'll just do a little one here. So just don't go in and out and in and out, because then that will go through the bottom of your material. So yeah, just go shallowly through, and then to finish off, just go in and out like this, and then you can cut that string and it won't come out, it won't undo. So that's what you should have. And so just to finish off this bit at the top where we have our opening, so it's kind of like a V here, and then it comes back down, so, or like a W, I guess. We're going to start on the edge here, and I'm going to start on this side here, and you start in the corner and have a slip knot, and just pull that through just like that, and then just sort of lock it into place like that. And then you're going to just do a row of single crochet all the way around the W, and then come around on the other side as well. So just on the top all the way around, and then once you've reached the end here, I'll show you what to do. And just a quick note here, once you get to each corner, just do 2 single crochets into the that chain 2 space, and then just keep going across until you reach the next corner, and then you do another 2 single crochets in the corners. Okay, so once you have gotten to the end here, you should be in the corner of your project. So just do another single crochet in there, just like that, and then into the top of the first one that you did, sorry about that, into the top of the first one that you did, you just do a slip stitch, just like that. And I know it's kind of difficult to see the black. Now there's another option to go around and do another row, and I think that just gives it a little bit more of a more thickness around. So you can either end here or go around one more time, and I usually go around with a half double crochet. So I will chain 2 for this row, and this is just an optional row, so you don't have to do this one, but I am doing it just to show you. So we'll count that one as your first half double crochet. So go into the next stitch and pull up a loop, so you'll have 3 loops on there, yarn over and pull through all 3. So if you do that all the way around into each stitch, and that will make it look a little bit thicker. And then when you get to the end, all the way around again, just slip stitch into the top of your chain 2, and then that's it. So then you can finish off there, and then we will work on the handles, and then we're done. Okay, so once we have done the sort of top border along the top edge of the bag, all we have left to do is the straps. So what we're going to do is take these 2 points here from the W and just kind of line them up. It doesn't matter. I mean, you don't really need to line them up right now, but you will sort of line them up eventually. So just go to the top of the point where you see these 2 stitches here. So those 2 there, and then count out 1, 2, and then count out again 3, 4. So that's the 2 in the middle, and then inch out 1 stitch, and then inch out another stitch on both sides. So you're going to start in this far right one. So what you're going to do is make a slip knot, just like that, and then go into the stitch, pull that slip knot through, and then lock it into place, just like that, and then just go across the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so that's going to be the width of the strap that you build across. Now there are several ways you can do this. I'm just going to do, just for ease and convenience, just the easiest way is to just turn your work. So it's going to be the width of 6 across, and you're just going to go back and forth. And I think the easiest way to do this is with single crochet. So you just chain up 1 and then go into the first stitch. 1, 2, 3, 6. I know it's a little bit hard to see because I'm using the black yarn, but it's basically just go back and forth, and you can do, if it's easier, you can do a double crochet. It'll work up faster, or there's special stitches that you can use as well. So just remember to chain up 1 and then go across 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so when you get to the end or the other side of your work, you just count from the middle. So there's 2, and then count out. That's another 2 stitches, and then count out again. And if you need to, you can put a little marker in just to know where to work your stitches in from the other side. So I put it the other opposite way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So into the 6th one here from the middle, and all you do here, you can either slip stitch it, or you can single crochet into the top of your work, the strap, and into the top of the work there. So I'm just showing you how to do it. Obviously it's not going to be as short as this. I'll show you the finished project at the very end, but I just wanted to speed things up here for you so you can just get on with it. So that's 6 stitches. Oh, we got a knot in there. 6 stitches, and then so that would be the strap, and then you cut your yarn and then pull your yarn through to fasten it off, and then you can weave in the end. So that will keep it nice and firm as a strap. Okay, and so I will make these longer and then show you what it looks like when it's completely done. Okay, so just a very quick note on the straps. I made these about 20 inches, so that's about 51 centimeters. So if you want to make your strap longer, you can. I'll show you a picture at the end just to see the level or the length, and so you can make it longer or shorter. So I'm making this just not too long, so it won't hang too long all the way down to your waist. So yeah, so it'll be held a little bit higher, but clearly, you know, you can make it suitable for you. So I'll just finish closing this off, and then I'll show you the finished product. Okay, so this is it. The final project is done. So you can't really see that, but I will post some pictures of it so that will be probably more helpful to you. Oh, there, how about that? See? So that is basically what the project looks like when it's done. But I will post some pictures, and you can also adapt this, make different types of bags, make them bigger. You have the general idea and pattern, and the inside here just with some pretty velvet. So that's it.